Going to start this hour with a huge week for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, who take on Everton in the live Super Sunday match. 3 days later, they're up against Real Madrid for a place in the Champions League final. We will assess the title race and head to James Green, who's at Arsenal's training ground today. But first to Peter Stevenson, who talked this lunchtime with Pep Guardiola. Good afternoon, Peter, to you. City could go 4 points clear of Arsenal if they win at Goodison Park. So is Guardiola expecting the title race to go right to the wire?
Very interesting today, Nick. I think it was the first time I've heard him in a long while talk about destiny and talking about the fact that this is nearly over now. An admission that, 6 or maybe 7 games, if you count the Champions League final on June the 10th, left in City's season. And I think maybe an appreciation that after what's felt like a marathon season, City are coming round the final lap of the circuit and their noses are in front. But of course, he's taking nothing for granted. That's exactly what you'd expect from Guardiola. He's a frank admission. There's 11 months' work in the Premier League on the line, and he's in no mood to make any slip-ups. Slightly psychological advantage maybe of playing before Arsenal at the weekend, but he's pretty convinced Arsenal are going to push City all the way.
Definitely they are going to win the 3 games in hand. So we know exactly what we have to do to win the Premier League.
You're going to need 8 points, 9 points maybe.
But I would like the games they had against Brighton, I think so, and Nottingham, and the last one I don't know, Wolves. So I would like to drop points, I'll be honest, but I think they will do with a long weeks to prepare, and they will do all 9 points.
Of course, what's really important now at this stage in the season is that players, however skillful they are given the chance to make good recovery. Guardiola's been talking about all the work that's going on with the physios and the medical staff just to make sure that players are fine-tuned physically and mentally. And of course, part of that now is all down to the scheduling. Quite interesting this weekend. Real Madrid play Saturday and then come here on Wednesday, so they have a little bit of travel time. City, of course, play Sunday and then also have to prepare for that Wednesday game. So it's all about the scheduling. I think in an ideal world, Guardiola would have preferred to play on the Saturday, but there's a certain European singing competition going on in Liverpool, so City have to go back to Sunday. Not that Pep was making too much of a song and dance about it.
My thought is just Everton, no more than that. So it's 11 months working for the Premier League. I don't want to be distracted for Madrid because I will have time, not much time, because we play Sunday, thank you so much. But anyway, so it's a real priority in the game in Goodison Park.
You mentioned that you play Sunday, and you said thank you very much after that. How frustrating is it for you?
I don't understand it, but I don't want to fight for that anymore. So.
No, I know, but just finishing that Real Madrid play Saturday, they get an extra day to recover. That could be critical in the context.
That's what I'm taking. I don't understand it, but I have to adapt it, so it doesn't matter. So don't fight anymore about the schedules and UEFA's Premier Leagues and so on. So it's what it is. So
do you feel that La Liga they try and help their teams in the UEFA competitions with their fixturing the way that they do?
Listen, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that the Liga, an example, the Premier League, want to help the teams in the Premier League. I don't think they want to, make it as uncomfortable. It's problem with the schedule. It's for this amount of competition, this amount of games. So this is the problem. So at the end, we had to put the games. And I think we could not play on Saturday because there is a revision or something like that in Liverpool, and we don't have too much police or handle 2 important events at the same time. So, okay, you have to adapt. For sure, we're going to play until 3 of the next month. That's for sure. We're going to next Wednesday to. You have to deserve to win a game to play until 1 more week. So we have potential for sure. 6 games, I think so, and potential 7. So it's where it is. It's not much. So just 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, end of the season. Go for it.
I think you can tell there he's just starting to get a little bit excited. Maybe he's just starting to realise that treble is now tantalisingly close. The big bonus for City is their injury situation. Just Nathan Ake, he's recovering from a hamstring problem. Guardiola said today he's much better. He'll have a better idea of his situation once City have trained. The training way over there at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll be there with a live camera and give you updates from that as we prepare for what looks like a really, really interesting run-in.
Isn't it a brilliant time of year? Thanks very much indeed, Peter. And straight to James Green at the Arsenal training ground where you've been talking to Mikel Arteta today. There were reports that Alexander Zinchenko and William Saliba's season was over. Is that true?
Well, according to Mikel Arteta, that's not necessarily true, but we know what Mikel Arteta's like in these press conferences. He keeps a lot close to his chest. But what he did say, and what we can confirm, is that William Saliba is certainly out of the game against Brighton on Sunday and very likely to miss Arsenal's trip to Nottingham Forest next Saturday. As regards Alexander Zinchenko, he's not ruling him out right now of Sunday's game. He said he wants to see the players in training tomorrow before he's able to make an assessment on his fitness. But what we do know is he was seen limping off the field at St James's Park on Sunday with what looked like a calf strain. That's what's being reported that could keep him out. Now, if that is the case and he is out, there is a replacement certainly sitting there waiting. That's Kieran Tierney. He's been almost chomping at the bit, you'd like to say, to get some game time. He's had to sit back and wait and be patient for his time, but when he came off the bench at St James's Park, he performed superbly well, replacing Zinchenko. So there's a light-for-light replacement ready to go for that trip to Brighton. But these injuries are coming maybe just at a difficult time. But as regards Saliba, we've seen Jakub Kiwior come in, certainly the last couple of games, performing exceptionally well. Mikel Arteta was full of praise for his performances recently too.
It felt a little bit after they were steamrolled by Manchester City that the title was really gone, but maybe not, given how well they played in that win against Newcastle.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Nick. It definitely felt like all hope was almost lost after the City defeat, and that followed, of course, the 3 draws to Liverpool, West Ham and Southampton. But a renewed sense of belief, you would say, after defeating Chelsea in the manner they did at the Emirates Stadium. And then the performance against Newcastle United. Now, it wasn't the most beautiful display that Arsenal have had this season, but you have to say they've showed a lot of character, grit, determination. And one thing Arteta said after the game was he was so pleased with the game management his side put in. Maybe an un-Arsenal-like performance, but those sort of performances are so important if you are looking to challenge for the title. And during the press conference, of course, Arteta was asked about the title chances, and this is what he said.
Every time you win, every time you play well, every time you feel that you are competing at a level that is required to win this league gives you hope. Winning your game with you hope is not in our hands, but certainly on Sunday we're going to have to be at our best again and try to win the game. And we win that game, we'll be a little bit closer.
You sense from the players that feelings of confidence and resiliency that you could challenge City all the way until the end of the season?
That's what we're here for. It starts on Sunday again, 3 games to go. This is the crucial one right now, and we want to beat them and elevate our hopes and our enthusiasm to keep going, because everything is still to play for still.
Everything still to play for, and every time he spoke about the title chances in the press conference, there was just at the end a little smile. You could tell how much he's enjoying it. He's enjoying the position they're in. He's enjoying the challenge he's got as Arsenal boss, challenging his former employers in Manchester City right now. And he's got a belief that Arsenal can push Manchester City the entire way. Now, one thing that's been talked about quite a lot this week has been player contracts, but there has been talk of Aaron Ramsdale and a new contract on the table for him. Now, he's just halfway through a 4-year deal. I signed that when he joined the club in August 2021. His performances recently have certainly been at a real high level. 13 clean sheets in the Premier League this season, only seconded to David De Gea, and his performance against Newcastle was exemplary and a big reason why Arsenal managed to get the 3 points. But would Mikel Arteta talk about contracts? Have a listen to this. What's the latest with Aaron Ramsdale? Is there a contract on the table for him?
Nothing. The moment there is something to announce with any individual, we will do that as a club, like we always do, but it's not the moment to talk about that.
Is talk about it, though, surrounding a contract, is that credit to him for the performances he's put in this season?
Yeah, we are very happy with him. Obviously, the way he's developed, the way he's performing, and the trajectory that he is at in the last 2 seasons is remarkable, and we are really happy with him, and he's a really important player for us.
You've got several players that are negotiating contracts or out of contracts or essentially might move on in the summer. Have you spoken to them to say, look, for now we need to park that and focus on going for this title?
Yeah, obviously where we are with each individual probably is different in terms of timing, but the clarity is there. They know we have communicated to each of them what the intentions are, and we are trying to get that done as quick as possible, but respecting and obviously without losing any focus on what is the real deal right now.
In terms of departures, there was a story earlier in the week linking Xhaka with the move in the summer. I assume, given how vital he's become to your team, you want to keep him beyond this year.
As you can understand, I'm not going to be replying to certain stories or not. I'm extremely happy with Granit. I think he's having an incredible season, probably the best season he's had at the club, and we are really happy to have him.
I got the response that I was expecting, really, from Mikel, keeping very tight-lipped. But he did say the most important thing for him is that that's been communicated to the players. Everybody knows where they stand right now. So although it's not communicated to us in the media, internally, there are communications going in the right direction with regards to player contracts. But I get the feeling and get the impression that everything's still moving along behind the scenes as it should be. But the full focus has got to be on this title challenge and these big 3 games remaining for the club. Look, they take on a tough Brighton side on Sunday, but they're also to be taken on a Brighton side after Manchester City. Have that trip to Goodison Park to take on Everton. Might be a little bit tricky. Everton had that thumping win over Arsenal's opponents, Brighton, last Monday. And, of course, they're coming back from a difficult trip to the Bernabeu in the Champions League. You never know in football, as I've said previously, and Mikel Arteta and his side are full of belief that they can push Manchester City right to the end.
Not just you, James. Thanks very much.